From Hollywood heartthrob to arrested with a hooker, life has been a wild roller coaster. In this video, I'll take you through my rapid rise to fame in the late 80s and 90s as a rom-com star, my shocking arrest in 1995 that nearly ruined my career, and how I managed to recover and endure as an actor. You'll get the inside scoop straight from me on all my crazy run-ins with the law over the years and my love-hate relationship with being in the spotlight. I've lived through wild highs and scandalous lows under the glare of fame. Stick around to the end to find out how I survived the roller coaster and still have an acting career today. My name is Hugh Grant, and I've had quite an interesting life and career so far. I was born in London in 1960 to a father who was in the military and a mother who taught French. I went to posh schools as a lad, but was a bit of a troublemaker, getting expelled from one school for a stunt involving a field hockey stick. Fun fact. Growing up, I spent summers in Scotland with my grandfather, who would take me shooting and hunting, so it connected me to my family's military roots. Though I didn't follow tradition and instead discovered a passion for the arts. I studied English at Oxford, where I became involved in student productions and discovered my love of acting. After Oxford, I did odd jobs before joining a repertory troupe and eventually getting small roles on British TV shows. My breakout part was in the 1987 film Maurice, where I played a gay man at a time when that was quite risky. I never expected acting would lead me to become an internationally recognized celebrity. My childhood dream was simply to perform and entertain audiences. But stratospheric fame brought intense public scrutiny that I wasn't prepared for when the scandal hit. After Maurice, I was then cast in a string of popular British romantic comedies and period dramas in the late 80s and early 90s. My characters were usually charming, yet bumbling Englishmen that audiences found endearing. Then came 1994's 4 Weddings and a Funeral, which catapulted me to a new level of stardom. It was a massive critical and commercial hit that made me recognizable worldwide. The fame was thrilling at first, but also incredibly overwhelming. I went from being able to walk down the street anonymously to being mobbed by fans and photographers everywhere. It was jarring to lose my privacy so suddenly. Fun fact number 2. Early in my career, I enjoyed portraying real-life figures like Charles Heidsieck and Hugh Grant in films like Champagne, Son Charlie, and White Mischief. Stepping into historic roles allowed me to time travel and expand my acting range beyond the fictional realm. In my personal life, I'd been quietly dating fellow British actress and model Elizabeth Hurley since 1987 after meeting her at a film premiere. She was an aspiring starlet when we met. Liz and I kept our relationship private in those early years as we focused on our respective careers. But once the glare of fame hit me, our romance became a fascination for the voracious British press. We were both young, attractive, and stylish, catnip for the tabloids. I know that while flattering at first, the constant media attention also felt intrusive, and I worried about Liz's safety. But we were largely viewed as media darlings in Britain in the 90s. I realise now we naively fed into the press obsession at times by posing for glamorous public appearances and photos that fueled the frenzy. And in truth, Liz and I were just 2 regular people trying to navigate the turbulence of instant celebrity, coupled with an intense new relationship under the microscope. We had no rule book on maintaining boundaries with the press. Looking back, I wish I had been more cautious about overexposing our romance. But the lure of fame was powerful, and I got swept up in the glitz without fully realizing the consequences. My rocketing career was rewarding, but also created a precarious dual identity. On screen, I was the charming underdog fans adored. Off screen, I was a regular, flawed human struggling to adapt to superstardom and extreme wealth. The higher my media profile rose, the harsher the glare on my personal life became. Any crack in the facade generated salacious headlines. When I wasn't prepared for the dark side of becoming so famous internationally. It was dizzying and isolating. In truth, I was never fully at ease in the spotlight. I valued my craft, but loathed the loss of privacy. The pressure to appear perfect while living under a microscope was suffocating. But the machine kept propelling me upwards. Becoming an internationally famous actor brought intense public scrutiny into my life. I learned that the hard way when my lapse in judgment ended up as front-page tabloid fodder worldwide. Everything was going wonderfully until 1995, when, in an insane moment of recklessness, I threatened to derail it all. I was in LA and spotted an escort named Divine Brown on Sunset Boulevard. In a lapse of judgment, I picked her up and we proceeded to get intimate in my car. Unfortunately, we were caught by the police, who noticed my brake lights repeatedly flashing. I was arrested for lewd conduct. Needless to say, the press had an absolute field day, eviscerating me. I was portrayed as an utter cad for cheating on my girlfriend, Liz. The shaming media coverage was mortifying. I felt terrible for humiliating Liz and embarrassing everyone involved in my films. It was an awful situation of my own making. I tried to make amends with a public apology on Jay Leno's show. By being honest and expressing my regret, it helped quell some of the media uproar. Remarkably, Liz found it in herself to forgive me. Our relationship endured another 5 years before we amicably split in 2000. There was brief industry talk that I might be finished in Hollywood. But the surprising thing is, the scandal didn't seem to cause lasting damage to my career. I think the public still enjoyed me as a bit of a devilish scoundrel in films. I continued getting lead roles in romantic comedies like Notting Hill with Julia Roberts and Bridget Jones's Diary with Renee Zellweger. My charming cad persona worked well in those films, and my box office clout remained strong. Behind the scenes, I didn't always get along swimmingly with my co-stars. Julia and I had little chemistry, and Robert Downey Jr. Straight up hated me when we made a film together in 1995. In the 2000s, I started taking on more villainous roles in movies like Bridget Jones's Edge of Reason, American Dreams, and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I found I enjoyed playing smug, deceitful characters. It was liberating not to be the rom-com lead everyone expects to be perfect. My attitude towards fame also grew more cantankerous around this time. I always had a testy relationship with the press because of the phone hacking scandal. I also had some unfortunate run-ins with paparazzi where I lost my temper and got arrested. I regret lashing out, though the constant media harassment was very stressful. In 2011, at age 51, I became a father for the first time with a woman named Tinglan Hong. It was unplanned, but I was delighted. I then had a child with another woman, Anna Eberstein, in 2012. A bit complicated, I know. Then Tinglan and I had another baby in 2013. Anna and I went on to have 2 more children together before getting married in 2018. Becoming a father changed me profoundly for the better. It made me slow down and not take myself so seriously. I'm very protective of my children's privacy and try to give them a normal childhood. Lately I've continued acting in a mix of acclaimed indie films and some blockbusters like Paddington 2. At age 62, I'm feeling good about where my career is. I may never fully shake off my bumbling Englishman image, but I've shown I can play a delicious villain as well. While parts of my love life have been messy, I've settled down nicely with Anna and enjoy being a family man these days. Eyes. I'll always be something of a scoundrel at heart, but fatherhood has mellowed me out over time. Fun factor 3. In addition to cricket and football, I also enjoy tennis and snooker, though I'm often described as a golfing addict. So I just love how hitting the links allows me to relax and get some fresh air away from the non-stop demands of celebrity. The Divine Brown scandal could have sunk my acting prospects if handled poorly, but by being honest, apologizing and not letting it define me, I managed to move on. My career has had its ups and downs, but I feel fortunate to have such longevity in this business.